So the Earthrise line has been a bit of an odd one, hasn't it? I mean, on the one hand, we've had great figures like Optimus and Airwave. I know it's a little odd to be comparing those two figures together, but I personally like Airwave. My collection, my rules. That tangent aside, there have been some things that have driven people away from buying this line, like parts forming and some of the figures kind of feeling like a downgrade. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Among all of that, though, we did get modulators, which are bots that can be broken down and reconfigured into bases. So basically just weaponizers, but they turn into bases instead of some cool weapons. Again, cool concepts. Anyways, that's the figure we're reviewing today. Modulator Ironworks. So, much like the previous modulator reviewed, which is Airwave, this too is also based off a Micromaster facility that is now also sentient. I'm just going to take a wild guess here and say that the Allspark brought it to life. Because that's how new life apparently exists now. The Allspark. Yay! So, Ironworks a primary mode here, that's what I'm just calling it. Or, sorry, primary base mode. Because he has two other base modes, believe me. This is his primary base mode, which is out of a construction station, and I will say, it looks pretty good. I mean, granted, scale isn't exactly the best thing. Like, the closest thing I could find to scale here was, like, Titan Masters, and even those don't work. Like, I think in order for this to work, it would have... This guy in robot mode would have to be about the same size as Earthrise Optimus, or Grapple, or Snapdragon. Basically what I'm saying is he'd have to be about a Voyager class figure in order for all this to work. But unfortunately he's a Deluxe class, so like nothing scales with him. Like, ever. I would show you a Micromaster car that I have, but unfortunately I can't find one at the moment, so that kind of sucks. But anyways, getting close here, there's a lot of molded detail, which seems to be a recurring thing on Generations figures. Molded detail, but not painted detail. You can clearly see some molded roadways in here. And, yeah, the road enters from either here or here. Again, if I had a small car here, that wouldn't actually work. I mean, those two cars would be, like, crashing into each other. Again, if you were Voyager sized, it would work. Out here, there's, like, a conversion kit that will turn him into a Decepticon named Rot, and instead of a construction station with some horrible traffic proportions, it turns the roadways into conveyor belts. I might not buy that. I mean, this isn't the mode I usually keep him in. He does have some articulation in this mode. This crane can rotate and move up, and seeing as this is also the robot arm, this peg can also move. That's actually a shoulder joint. Got a bit of a crane swivel, crane bend, and even a bit of a hook swivel. It's even detachable. So, yeah, and also, because this is 5mm ports, or a 5mm port, you could practically, like, jam something on there for, like, a defense cannon. Like Jam Prime's Ion Blaster, or one of Snapdragon's pistols. Blasters, sorry, my bad. Or heck, even Rodimus's big rifle of murder death. But this isn't the mode that the battling is needed for. That'll be the next mode. You may notice that he does have a lot of clip ports, so it's also the same thing on Airwave. That's because these guys can kind of connect using something called the airlock system, which basically means world building. You can make all kinds of weird bases, and that is a long base. Modulator, and modulators aren't limited to this. You can even connect other things that'll most likely make it ridiculously out of scale. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Such as Prime's trailer, which you can just jam that on as well. Make the scale look even worse. And for where to put it? Ah, there it is. For added weirdness, you can let me just turn this around here. You can put here we're just gonna scoot this. So you can put like Grapple's. You can put Grapple's claw on this. I'm just making a mess over here. Come on. Go. Okay, it doesn't want to go in, but the point still stands. You can connect Grapple's claw there. And you would think this would make for some excellent scale, but what it actually looks like is I don't know what's going on. Like, the two modulators kind of make sense because they're both bases for Micromasters. However, the bases for realistic scale, the prime controller just kind of messes it up. It's almost like scale is inconsistent in G1 or something, or just Transformers as a whole. So, yeah, there's not really a whole lot you can compare it with. Like, again, you put, like, a Deluxe... like, here's this Wavemate Cliff Jumper. You put these two next to each other, and there is something seriously off about that scale. Because that ain't right. Oh, well. And I have knocked more things off my desk. Lovely. So, yeah, we're going to pause here so I can readjust to the camera, because as you all know, that's what I usually have to do, because I don't have a tripod. Okay, so, pausing here, and we're going to disassemble him and get him into his battle station mode. So, here is the transformation. Yeah, it's not really a transformation, as it is basically just demolishing the base and reconfiguring it into a new shape. So, what you want to do is you want to just start tearing things apart. Just go ahead and do that. Alright. As you can see, parts. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to take this, I'm just going to call it the crotch plate for now. I know that would technically be the crotch plate, but this is where his crotch is. This is a plate. I think you know where that one's going. So these two just connect by that using the same base connecting system that I just showed off previously. The legs, these panels unfold, and they will lock in right here. Just like so. I'll do the same thing with the other leg. Just want to tab it in there like so. And the next few parts could be easy. You just take the chest piece and plug it into the bottoms of his feet. Yes, that is an actual thing I said. And you want to bring this down to form kind of like a battle platform for things to stand on. You know, if that's what you want to do. Bring up this peg. Attach the arm. This is actually a little difficult, but you can get it in. And finally, last but not least, come on the gun for some extra gunnage. So you can do that. And then you want to go ahead and take the crane and plug it in there. Rotate this. Remove the hook. And bend it upwards. And you're probably wondering, well, what are you supposed to do with the hook? Well, if you want to give him a missile, this counts as an extra turret up top. It can be manned from here. It's a little confusing. So here's a part from Earthrise Cliff Jumper and a part from Siege Mirage. Those connect together to form a pretty spiffy looking missile. That can connect on there. And then the hook, it has like a little 5mm port. That's how it attaches to the arm. I can plug under there. This isn't official. I just saw this and I'm like, hey, that looks cool. And there you go. He turns into a battle station. He is also lacking a windmill, but who cares? So, yeah, this is the battle station mode. And, to be honest, it doesn't look half bad. I mean, granted, I made one modification, and that was adding some extra parts from Cliff Jumper and Mirage. But, even even other than that, it does look good. Now, this is the battle station mode. This is actually a mode that the G1 toy had. You know, much like Airwave had this this embarrassment of a battle station. Yeah, I actually like Ironworks' battle station more than I like Airwave's. This one kind of feels tacked on. This one feels like one that they worked on. Although then again, my judgment could be wrong, and this mode may actually be the worst out of them. There is actually a mode that isn't even documented in his instructions. In fact, this mode isn't even documented in his instructions. I got to figure this one out for myself, and both of the stock photos made it pretty easy to figure out. That tangent aside, yeah, I could easily see these two battle stations, like, waging war. I could see that one falling over. You could, like, see these two battle stations waging war against each other. Let's put that up here. I could see that. Of course, blast effects are blast effects, so, you know, you got that. We can just angle this down and make it look exactly firing. You know, give it some actual use. Put that back together. Yeah. But, yeah, other than that, its main purpose is to be a battle station. That is basically it. Articulation, you have a rotating turret, and, you have another rotating turret, which, and that's basically about it. For size comparison, here's Airwave's modular battle station mode. That's what I'm calling it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this mode. Now, once again, we're gonna pause here so we can get into the robot mode. I know there's another base mode this guy has. I just don't care. I think Airwave having more base modes makes sense, while also having to sacrifice the whole weaponizer gimmick. This guy actually does weaponizing a little better, I will say. So, yeah, there's that. So, again, we're going to pause here, dismantle this, and reconfigure into a robot. Capiche? Capiche. Capiche? I don't care. And we're back. So, yeah, so, dismantling time. Just, remove this, get this out of here, because it's not relevant. Remove this, do that. Dismantle all that. Dismantle that, and there we go. Does this look familiar? Alright, so what you want to go ahead and do is you want to straighten this out into an arm. So actually, we're going to go with the legs first. So you want to fold these panels back in, and you want to bring out the side joints, like so. Take the crock plate, I'm not explaining it again, and kind of slide out and rotate the hips out on these very soft rackets. It's actually pretty cool that they were able to get rackets onto this kind of figure. Or racket joints. Or should they be called Ironworks joints because these are Ironworks? These are the questions that will never be answered. Just like who became Cyclonus. Anyway, so you want to fold this back into a torso and bring out the head, have it into each other. You may notice his back is looking a little hollow after this plate comes in, and it just kind of hangs off of there. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to unfold this arm and plug it in over here. This is his left arm, and we only have a few pieces left. The gun tabs into the gun rotates the shoulder and proceeds to attack my thumb. The gun plugs in here as if it's some kind of industrial smokestack coming out of his arm. What are they trying to do here? Be Optimus friggin' Prime? And there you go. There you got Ironworks in his bot mode. Well, we gotta cover him in bot mode, of course. So, yeah, this is Ironworks in his robot mode. I will say it looks pretty good. So, let's get into the details. First off, the head looks pretty good. I mean, one thing that I would have changed, if we can just zoom in here, on his noggin, his visor and his mouse plate are the exact same color. Why couldn't the mouse plate have been painted silver or the visor have been painted blue or something? It honestly doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The torso is obviously just it's just a block. The arms are arms. Actually, this is a normal arm. This arm is like a crane. Like, it's literally formed out of an entire crane, so he's got like a nice little asymmetrical design going on with him. Also, the gun here kind of becomes like some kind of industrial smokestack. I don't know why. I just figured I'd point it out. You know, the other thing I've noticed about the modulators is that they don't seem to have like right hands or anything. I don't understand why. I mean, Ironworks' arm kind of makes a little more sense, and Airwave's arm is just kind of more like an afterthought in all of his modes. You know, the right arm. But yeah, other than that, it looks pretty good. The arms also seem to have some kind of weathering effect going on that I can't really pick up. Maybe there's a little more faded than usual. I can't tell. I don't have an eye for that stuff. I noticed the industrial smokestack, okay? The legs are basically just, they're gray, and the hips are basically just erupting out of black blocks with plates on them. And there are even a few plates on the back. That's pretty awesome. As for his posability, you have a ball joint at the head. Both shoulders can rotate and move out. This one is double jointed, and both arms have a bicep swivel. This one's actually 90 degrees. It can bend 90 degrees. And the crane can also rotate, so that's pretty cool. The hips can rotate forward that far and back that far, unless you kind of scoot around the rear end. You got a side swivel. Oh yeah, the legs can also move out, but you got a side swivel, over 90 degree bend at the knee, and pivot. So, yeah, his arm's coming out. But, yeah, so, for a few quick size comparisons, here is Earthrise Wheeljack, here is Thrilling 30 Hoist, here is Earthrise Cliffjumper, and here is Earthrise Airwave, who can hardly fit his wide self on the screen. Here, let's just put him back here. The similarity between most of these guys is that they've all been reviewed, or one of them is being reviewed, and one of them is just killing in the background, just like, hey, what's up? I'm totally here. So, I'll proceed to knock more stuff off my desk as I literally moved my hand 1 inch. So I'm going to remove Cliffjumper and remove Hoist. And a quick comparison with Prime. Yeah, the two look pretty good next to each other. Alright, so Ironworks isn't limited to just bases. He can also kind of do the whole weaponizer thing. So for that, we will need a test subject, like Wheeljack. So we're just going to go ahead and disassemble him. Probably disassemble him faster off camera, because you don't have to worry about getting everything on screen. Yeah, so for those people who actually do bother to watch my videos, you may have noticed I changed the name of some of my reviews. Yeah, I'm trying to make my reviews like a series, and it took me a while to come up with a name. I don't know, it was just like a generic name, but you know, so the series is now called Review It. That's literally the best I could think of without sounding too sciencey or something. But yeah, so now that we have everything where we need it, we're going to take the two plate pieces and combine them into a shield. That will I'll just go ahead and plug into Wheeljack's hand. It's technically supposed to plug into his shoulder, but due to the fact that the rear bumper is like right there, it's kind of useless. And so the torso, you want to unfold it into like a steam shovel. Plug that into his arm. Plug the gun on top of the crane, and plug the other arm under it, and get the arm joint. That'll plug into Wheeljack's rear end. This is way easier to do off camera, let me tell you that. So, you know, kind of like some over-the-shoulder cannon, which is basically what it is. You just want to take the legs and unfold them, and all of this will just kind of like fold over the leg and will actually become boots. That's one thing that this figure does in the weaponizing department that he has like over every other weaponizer, because they don't even bother to protect its shins. And yeah, it looks okay. I kind of prefer more the robot or the base. So I'm going to go ahead and put him back together into his bot mode, and we will do the final verdict. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he mediocre? We will find out. So, among the mediocreness that can be Earthrise at some times, I really like this figure. He's not in my top 5 favorites of the Earthrise toy line, but he would be in my top 3 favorites for Wave 1. Yes, these are also in the top 3. I know this makes sense, and this probably doesn't, but hey, what can I say? I like Cliffjumper. He definitely gets overshadowed a lot. That tangent aside. Yeah, so in the meantime, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell, and join me on the next episode of Review It, where I take a look at a certain Disappeary Boy for the Christmas special. See you then.